Newsweek, 8th of March 2024, India deploys an additional 10,000 troops to the tense China border. The Indian subcontinent has been the target of an all-out Chinese military campaign, and India must now defend its border against a hegemonic China. Given the ongoing tensions between the two dominant Asian powers, India is prepared to allocate an additional 10,000 troops to the volatile border with China and reallocate additional personnel there. Senior Indian officials told Bloomberg on March 7 that a 10,000-strong unit of soldiers previously allocated to defend the country's western border has been reassigned to a stretch of its border with China. Thousands of soldiers who were previously stationed on India's western boundary have been released and are now being reallocated to strengthen its border with China. An increase in military preparedness has been observed along India's disputed border with China, potentially signifying a heightened state of hostility between the two countries possessing nuclear weapons. The realignment of military efforts occurred against a bloody confrontation in June 2020 in the Galwan Valley of eastern Ladakh. This is the first lethal encounter along the contested frontier in over 4 decades. A bloody conflict between China and India occurred in 1962 regarding the contested line of actual control, LAC, an intricate network of demarcation lines that divides the two formidable nations. Due to their divergent perspectives, both nations hold overlapping territorial claims along specific segments of the LAC. In the interim, Rajnath Singh, the Indian Defence Minister, warned New Delhi that in the event of an attack, it would respond appropriately, alluding in an indirect reference to China. Whether India is attacked by land, air, or sea, our forces will retaliate with decisive force. No nation has ever been invaded, and no territory has ever been occupied to the degree of an inch. On Thursday at the NDTV Defense Summit 2024, Singh stated, however, should anyone cast a doubt on us, we can deliver an appropriate response. 20 Indian troops and at least 4 Chinese soldiers were killed in a physical confrontation that occurred in June 2020 as both parties increased their military presence along the contested border. The occurrence precipitated a protracted military impasse in the eastern Ladakh region, where substantial military forces from both countries maintain a presence estimated to surpass 50,000 soldiers per side as of this writing. The Chinese and Indian armies have engaged in 21 sessions of negotiations to resolve the ongoing border standoff. The most recent round of discussions took place at the Chushul-Moldo border meeting point in eastern Ladakh on February 19. China is preoccupied with maintaining India's attention in the north while constructing aircraft carrier groups to dominate India from the south. In the interim, Senior Colonel Zhang Zhougang, a Chinese Ministry of Defense spokesperson, recently commented on the 21st round of negotiations by stating that Beijing is telling the truth and expressing hope that India and China will meet in the middle. China places significant emphasis on the military-to-military relations existing between India and China. The two nations aspire to engage in mid-level discussions, foster mutual trust, effectively manage differences, and uphold tranquility and peace along the border. Zhang stated on February 29 during the monthly press conference of the Defense Ministry. After the 21st round of negotiations, the Indian party issued a statement formally requesting the withdrawal of all troops from the remaining regions where personnel are still stationed on both sides. China has ceased to recognize India's request to withdraw military forces. Zhang responded that the statements above contradict the facts regarding India's demand for disengagement. In addition to a newly formed combat command, Bloomberg reported that a contingent of 9,000 soldiers previously assigned to the contested border with China would be under its jurisdiction. This development further bolstered the military position. Bloomberg reported that the combined force will guard a 532 kilometers (330.57 miles) stretch of the border separating China's Tibet region from India's northern states of Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. Bloomberg reported that the deployment, supported by specialized air and artillery, highlights this area's growing significance and vulnerability in India's defense strategy. Newsweek contacted the Chinese embassy in New Delhi and the Ministry of External Affairs of India for comment. China has been accused by India's Home Affairs Minister, Amit Shah, of attempting to replicate the conditions of the 1962 war, a conflict that has had a lasting impact on Sino-Indian relations since February. Amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, China once again revealed its true nature, as it did in 1962. Shah stated, We stood firm to it and did not lose a single inch of territory, as cited by Newsweek. The remarks he articulated in the Lok Sabha, India's lower house of parliament, mirror New Delhi's unwavering position regarding Beijing's belligerence and the persistent strategic obstacles that arise along the disputed Lak, a border spanning 2,100 miles.